All right, guys, welcome back and welcome into It's the Law. Jay Davis is here from James W. Davis and Associates in Macon. Jay, appreciate you coming on.
Thanks, Michael. It's good to be here.
Jay's always answering our legal questions, and one thing that's been hard for folks to follow, I think, and myself included, is the hearings into the Comey investigation and the Russian meddling in our election with President Trump. Recently, Attorney General Jeff Sessions took the stand, and he is catching some fire for not particularly answering questions. Catch people up with what he's been up to today.
Yeah, well, he's didn't answer some of the questions that were particular to his conversation with Trump, but he answered a lot of the questions with regard to the issues that had to do with Russia, why he recused himself. He was a part of the Trump campaign. He did have contacts with in his job in Congress, not really his job with the Trump campaign, but he had contacts with the Russian contacts, which he didn't really exactly give a full disclosure when he was first asked about it. So a lot of people had a lot of questions about that. But the best thing about what's going on right now is what we're starting to see is what should actually happen, and that is people get investigated when things don't sound right. You know, we had Susan Rice and the video issue with, you know, all the things that went on in Benghazi. We've had a lot of things over the past few years that just blow up and they get kind of shut down. And it's basically a sort of, it's always shown as a two-party system. You have the Democrats coming after, you know, Trump and coming after Sessions and always coming, and then you have a few Republicans. But basically, it's not really the Republicans and the Democrats coming after each other. It's this party system against Trump, which is a non-party participant. So, right, we kind of raise kids going, let's get our kids to be able to be president, but you got to participate in the parties, or we got to figure out who controls this, what's going on.
It's definitely true. And when I was looking into the hearing today, when Attorney General Jeff Sessions would refuse to answer particular questions, where does that put the investigation? What can be done if he says, I don't recall, or I just don't want to answer?
It's just like in a criminal case. If you have you know, we always hear we got the right to remain silent, but most people don't have the ability to remain silent when the police are investigating or somebody's in there. But there are times when you really should stop talking, things that you may disclose something that is confidential information that you're not at liberty to disclose. So if you just talk freely, if Jeff Sessions were to just talk freely, he could possibly disclose something that he didn't have a right to disclose. So at some point he has to cut himself off and say, no, I can't answer it. And at the same time, there are things that could incriminate him. If he had contacts with the Russians, he seemed to address the issues that could have incriminated him and seemed to stop short of anything that could lead to something he didn't have the privilege to disclose.
And it's interesting because when you hear somebody, you know, plead the fifth or not want to answer a question, you think, oh, they must be guilty. But like you just described, there are a lot of benefits to doing that because you don't want to self-incriminate.
Most of the time, the thing is with criminal cases now, and a lot of times we take what's going on nationally and look at the local thing. If you're arrested, they are looking to prosecute someone. So you do have to be very careful what you say, what you disclose, what you allow to be searched. That's possibly beyond the scope of what someone stopped you for or detained you in some way for.
Well,
so
I appreciate you coming on, Jay. Yeah, and we'll continue to follow this because this is going to keep going on.
This is going to keep going for a while.
It's going to be a while.
We got some fodder here.
Yeah, well, he'll be back for sure. And of course, we want to hear all your legal questions, so you can email us at itsthelaw41vc.com. Jay will certainly do his best to answer your questions during It's the Law. Wednesdays on the news at 6. Jay, appreciate you coming on.
Thanks, Mike.
All right.